Hi, this is KCC again for the weekly session on financial matters, and I'm very pleased to be with you here today to share with you more ideas, more tips on financial matters. Today, the topic is going to be on financial resilience. Resilience is getting to be a very popular word, and they come in different forms. Most commonly, it's mental resistance. Financial resilience is somewhat different way of looking at it. It's basically the ability of a person to weather through events and challenges that will impact their income and or their financial well-being. As you know, the recent last few years of pandemic has really put a lot of people into challenging times, and it is their financial resilience that will enable them to carry through. Now, why is financial resilience very important to any one person, any one of us? Well, first and foremost, when things like the pandemic happen to all of us, it doesn't happen to one person, it happens to all of us. So at the end of the day, how much we are affected by catastrophes such as this, or in the future, it might be a recession, it could be something similar, and how much they affect us is not what happened, because what happens to everybody. It's a common saying, it's not what happened to you, it's how you respond to what happened to you that will determine the outcome. So that's the formula, say E plus R equals O. So E is events that happens, R is your respond to what happened, and O is the outcome. So financial resilience is basically the function of your ability to respond to a given event should that event be impacting your financial well-being. And out of that will be the outcome, whether you're going to come out of this challenging times well and good or not. So things happen, we can't control what happened in the world, we can't control financial meltdown, we can't control things like inflation, and we can't control recession, obviously. So our ability to respond to this situation becomes paramount to our success as an individual. The other thing that makes financial resilience very important is the fact that today we are living in the VUCA world, as we call it. The VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So in such an environment we're in, there's no certainty in terms of what the future looks like. Things happen, things changes, from the fact that we have all kinds of issues, not just financial events, things like global warming, supply chain issues. All these issues in a way affect us whether we like it or not. So when we have so much uncertainty in the marketplace, it becomes important that resilience in terms of your financial well-being becomes very important. All right. Now the third point is this: when we meet certain circumstances, certain events, certain challenges that affect us financially, it will have an impact on us in terms of our life, and not just in terms of our ability to feed our family and feed us, but it has a big emotional impact on both us and our dependents as well. Now, money is emotional. When a family go through tough times and difficult times, some are able to weather through that and some are not able to weather through that. So it becomes rather important that as an individual, and especially if you are the important person in the family, that you are the one contributing most of the financial requirements to your family, financial resilience becomes something that you need to be aware of, right? Now, zooming down onto organizations, why is it important for organizations to be conscious that your staff have a certain degree of ability to manage their financial state and to acquire what I call financial resilience? Is that important to an organization? Well, research has shown that only 40% of employees are prepared for unexpected financial costs or a significant reduction in their income. In other words, if anything happened to their income or certain things happen in their cost of living that impact them, 40% of employees are not able to deal with it. They will be unprepared, they will have issues, they will have concerns, they will have problems. And 48% of employees will be distracted by money worries while at work, according to a Pricewaterhouse report on employee financial wellness. Now this term is beginning to be very important for organizations to take note. That is, your employee financial wellness has an impact on productivity, has an impact on the mental state of your employees. It will affect them in their work, it will affect them in their outcome of what they do in their job. So it becomes important for organizations to be aware of this issue in your organization. The other thing is, of course, statistics have shown that actually when people go through financial stress, it is actually also a mental stress. Now imagine that they go to work every day, but at the same time they are facing financial stress at home, or they have debts that they cannot cope with, or impending issues that will affect their livelihood. This impact them mentally and can be quite disastrous in terms of not just productivity, but in terms of how they work within the organization. In UK, they have done a research. They say that 18 million working hours are lost each year because of people going through financial stress. And that's the reality. So it is rather important for organizations, therefore, to have some awareness of your employees in terms of their financial resilience. And this can be done in various ways. There are programs, there are assessment tools, there are workshops that you can carry out to help your employee be able to prepare themselves for whatever the event might be. As we mentioned earlier, the outcome is a function of how you respond to a given event. Can't change the event, but you can help them change the way they respond to it, so that the outcome can be less disastrous or even more positive for them than otherwise. Now, moving on from organization, I'm going to talk about for individuals. Now, this section on financial resilience for individual, I've covered the area of why that is important and what financial resilience is. So for the individual, character plays a very important role in financial resilience, all right? Because at the end of the day, financial resilience has in itself a mental part to it. So people who can deal with financial crisis and financial issues are likely to have 5 possible characteristics that play a role in ensuring the person's ability to deal with this given situation. The first thing is positive. There are some people who are very positive in their mindset, and there are some people who are not. Obviously, the people who are more positive are likely going to be able to deal with this a lot better than people who see only the dark clouds and see only the negative sides of whatever they are facing. All right. The second criteria, very important to acquiring personal financial resilience, is flexibility. Your ability to deal with situations, your ability to make changes when necessary. Now, as you know, some people are very inflexible and would have trouble adjusting themselves to changes in the environment or changes in the state. If they're used to spending so much money on their coffee, you ask to downgrade them to a smaller, to a less prestigious place, maybe they can't take that. They're not used to that kind of environment. So flexibility plays a really important part in their ability to deal with financial matters, right? Then the third area is being organized. There are some individuals that are very disorganized in their personal matters. They don't even know how much money they have. They don't even know how much money they owe. They don't even have an idea about their financial state, and they don't know the in and the outs. And if they are so disorganized in managing their financial state, obviously they will have challenges in terms of situation when things change, when issues are raised. Without the awareness of where they are, they can't possibly cope with them. All right. The fourth characteristics which will help in building financial resilience is proactivity. In other words, you don't wait for problems to happen before you deal with it. Proactivity means that you plan out, you do things to prepare yourself for any circumstances. You proactively prepare a situation so that you don't have to face the most difficult part of a financial downturn, or a drop in income, or an increase in expenses because of inflation, because you proactively prepared for it. And that will be very important to help you with the ability to deal with financial matters. Yeah. Now, the fifth characteristic is determination. Well, determination carries a person through. A person who faces all kinds of challenges with determination will be able to carry through challenging times. But for the person who is less determined, less strong, they don't have what we call the mental strength, they will probably give up, they will probably just resolve the situation, that they will just give up and will not do anything. And that is a bad situation. So there are 5 characteristics that will help a person create for themselves their financial resilience. Number 1 is being positive. Number 2 is being flexible. Number 3 is being very organized in your personal matters. Number 4 is being very proactive to plan. And finally, determination will help a person carry through. All right? Now, how do we acquire financial resilience?